Hi Year 8s. In today's lessons, we're going to be investigating antacids. So let's have a look what we're going to do. So your task for today is to design an investigation to compare the effectiveness of different indigestion remedies. What is an antacid? It's a non-prescription medication used to treat heartburn. So the word heartburn can be slightly confusing because indigestion doesn't really have much to do with the heart itself. It's when you have an excessive amount of acid in your stomach and there's a reflux, meaning a flow back into the esophagus tube. So I'm going to just share a video clip with you that shows you the basics of heartburn. It's in more detail than what you need to know, but it's a good starting point.
When you swallow food, it travels through a tube called the esophagus. The esophagus leads into the stomach through a hole in a sheet of muscle called the diaphragm. There's a round muscle at the bottom of the esophagus that works like a valve.
This is called the sphincter muscle, which you've already looked at, and it sort of opens and closes. When food travels through, it opens, allowing the food content to go in, and then it closes to stop the reflux, meaning the flow back of the stomach acidic content up the esophagus tube.
The muscle relaxes when you swallow, allowing food to pass into the stomach. Certain cells in your stomach, called proton pumps, release acid to help digest the food. The lining of your stomach protects it from the acid. The esophagus has a different type of lining, which looks like it's made of smooth tiles. The valve is designed to close tightly after you swallow, so nothing comes back into the esophagus. Your diaphragm is also meant to pinch securely around the esophagus, closing off the opening to your stomach. It's normal for a small amount of acid to occasionally splash into the esophagus. This is called reflux. That word means flowing back. A small amount of reflux doesn't usually cause any harm. But if acid splashes up into the esophagus over and over again for years, the esophagus can be damaged. There are several reasons this might happen. It's not uncommon for the valve to become weaker, so it doesn't close tightly. That allows acid and partially digested food to come up into the esophagus. Sometimes the diaphragm weakens around the esophagus, allowing the hole to become larger. This hole is called the hiatus. When it becomes larger, part of the stomach may bulge through it. This is called a hiatal hernia. The hernia may cause the esophagus and the valve to move up. In that case, the diaphragm is no longer reinforcing the valve. That makes it more likely that acid will get into the esophagus. When acid and food splash up into the esophagus repeatedly, it's called gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD. Gastro for the stomach, or gastric system. Esophageal for the esophagus.
Right. So that gives you quite a detailed account of what the reflux is and acid reflux is. Let's go back to our presentation. So that's heartburn. So what do antacids actually do? They help neutralize the excessive amount of acid that causes discomfort in the stomach. You've already covered antacids, so please do use that those pages as a guide in your textbook. I will attach a short clip showing the science behind the antacid, so it's important to look at as that will help you with the investigation. You will need to research 4 different brands of antacid tablets that are available on the market today. I've given a diagram of a few, and as part of your investigation, please include 4 different brand names. So the aim of this investigation is to plan an investigation to see which brand of antacid remedies is the most effective. You'll need to consider a number of factors for this investigation. Your independent variable, which is the actual factor you're going to be changing, and it should only be one in an investigation. And in this case, it's a different brand of antacid tablet. So everything else must be kept the same. Your dependent variable is a variable you measure. So how are you going to measure which is most effective? Little hint, universal indicator, and probably seeing how long it takes for it to neutralize the acid. What are you going to be keeping the same? So everything else, like the amount of tablet, the amount of acid used, you're going to have to be consistent and the same. So please put that down as your control variables and anything else. So as part of the write-up, I need you to include a title, the aim of this investigation, a hypothesis, which basically thinks what you think is going to happen and why. So which antacid tablet you think is going to be best. You can base it on probably the chemical structure of it. Variables that we've already discussed, independent, dependent, and your control variables include all. A list of the equipment you're going to use, be specific. So if you say beaker, tell me what size beaker you're planning to use. Diagram to show the setup of the equipment, and please draw in pencil and label all the equipment that you're using. Step-by-step method and a results table that you would record your data in. Now you're not actually carrying out this investigation, you're planning it. So you still have a results table to show what you anticipate to record or how you plan to record your data. Now for this, the deadline, I'm giving you 2 lessons to complete this. So the deadline will be on Thursday at 2 p.m. I'd like you to submit your investigation, and good luck with that. So bye for now, and I look forward to seeing your lovely planning of the investigations.